And I have victims present. All right, Mr. Bice, you need to let them know at the jail they need to start video and audio. Miss Adams, could you let the jail know I don't have video or audio?
Okay.
It should work now.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. All right. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Douglas Henry Bice. We have two files, 22-20979FH and 22-21175FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Bice, and I have Amanda Wagner appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. I have received sentencing memorandums by both Mr. Murphy and in response by Mr. Sneed. With regard to restitution, I have scheduled the hearing on August 9th at 2:30 p.m. via Zoom for purposes of determining a final amount of restitution. And so Ms. Campbell or Ms. Burnett, if you're required to be there, the prosecutor's office will let you know, but you're also, I believe, able to zoom in to the same number at that time for the hearing if you want as well. All right. So, Mr. Bice, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right. And have you had an opportunity to discuss that pre-sentence report with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Murphy as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in this pre-sentence report?
Your Honor, I believe the last time on the record, I objected to two statements. At this point, we're not objecting to anything further. We had, after the last court date, we received all the victim impact statements. And again, at this point, I'm not objecting to anything further.
Okay. And Ms. Wagner, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in this pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Murphy, does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect? I show he has 6 prior misdemeanors.
Yes, Your Honor, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. The probation department has computed the minimum sentencing guidelines on the file number 22-20979FH to be 0 to 17 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Stevenson, because that is a 10-year felony, do we not have guidelines for the larceny in the building on file number 22-21175?
Correct. We should just have the guidelines on the 10-year.
All right, very good. Thank you. And do you dispute the guidelines, Ms. Wagner? Ms. Wagner, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. My computer froze there for a second. No, I do not.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, before the court passes sentence, well, actually, I'll give you an opportunity, Ms. Wagner. Before the court passes sentence, is there anyone here who wishes to speak today? I do have Ms. Corrine Campbell and Katie Burnett.
Yes,
Ms. Campbell, you'd like to speak?
I would just like him to know how much hurt he has gave the family, and I hope that he takes the time to get himself together. And even though my mother will never come back, I still pray for him.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Miss Burnett, anything you'd like to say? Miss Burnett, oh, she is not connected to audio. Let me see if I can get her connected. Hold on. Earlier, if I'm not. We'll send her a chat message. All right, she's talking. All right, I'm gonna disconnect her. A lot of times. Oh, she- Mr. Otello, we will be with you shortly. And Mr. Malero, you as well. Let's try this again. Ms. Burnett, can you hear us now?
Hi, I am so sorry about that. I don't know what was going on. Yes, ma'am. I can
It's
hear.
okay. Ms. Burnett, is there anything you'd like to say to the court today?
I would like to read my paper, and then I would like to also say a couple of other things.
Okay.
My name is Katie Burnett, and I have known Douglas Bice for over 20 years due to him and my mother, Susan McCarty, dating. From the beginning of their relationship, they had always been turmoil brought on by Douglas Bice. Most of the turmoil was due to him being physically and mentally abusive to her, lying to her, stealing from her, and also the people that he was friends with and people he didn't know. They had not been in a romantic relationship for several years, although my mom would always be willing to help him and his son. My mom opened up her home to Doug's son, so Doug was on his stuff and wouldn't take care of him. She made sure he ate, had clean clothes, and went to school. All of this with little help from Douglas Bice. He has never been a very good presence in his son's life. On August 5th, 2022, Douglas found my mom unresponsive, and instead of him calling an ambulance or police officers, he decided to steal jewelry and anything he could find, all while his son was there. For the next month after he left her dead without telling the authorities, he used her phone, stole money from her Cash App, used her Facebook, tried to order $300 from Amazon. He tried to get into her email account many times. Doug did not live with my mom, and had he done the right thing and called the police or ambulance, she might still be here today. Douglas Bice owed her money, and he was supposed to pay her the same day that she died. And he just left her laying there while he ransacked her home for his son to watch. Douglas Bice is a monster who doesn't care about anyone other than himself and what he can get from people and get away with. My mom had the biggest heart and would always help someone when she could. She did not deserve to go the way she did and be left for hours. The material items he stole, although some of them were sentimental, will never add up to the fact that he stole something much bigger, and that was my mom's dignity to die with loved ones around her. And perhaps he even stole her life if she could have been saved had he called the police. He did not just steal from her and countless other people. He has robbed my family of peace, joy, and trust. He has made our grieving process as hard as possible while he gets to go live his life, continuing to be the trashy person he is. I'm not reading this word for word, I'm sorry. I can barely see. What kind of person would leave someone dead, steal their belongings while their son was right there? What kind of role model is he for his child? I believe I know the answer, and I hope those listening can see the kind of man Doug Bice truly is. He's a selfish man who deserves the maximum sentence. Although he's not being charged with the 2 women's death that he was with within a month's time, I just wish you would give him the maximum sentence in the larceny. I'm done. I can't speak anymore. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Burnett. Ms. Wagner, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of the people?
No, Your Honor, I have nothing additional to add. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Murphy, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Since I've met Mr. Bice, obviously, there's been a long-going issue here with an addiction. Now, the problem, obviously, as we know, which is one of the problems we deal with in our society, is that there's a lot of residual and collateral damage. In regards to the matter, obviously, Mr. Bice understands the issue that he's confronting. He understands the damage he's caused. But in regards to this matter, if I recall, when I spoke with Mr. Bice about the case involving Ms. McCarty, and I believe this is what he had told the police as well, was that he was there that night. And again, I don't know the relationship with Mr. Bice and Ms. McCarty towards the end. What he had indicated to myself, and I believe he told the police this, was that he was over there. Obviously, he wasn't forcing her or anything. She had him staying there with his son, that she wasn't very healthy, but he had helped try to give her a glass of water and stuff over the night. And then in the morning, they had a ride coming and they quickly left. And that, quite frankly, he didn't even realize the situation at that time. I do understand, and Mr. Bice understands how hard, the death of a loved one is, which is one of the things that he wanted to bring up to the court. From my understanding, Mr. Bice's mother is on hospice care. She is under hospice care. Again, that's less information I heard. I hope that hasn't worsened. But Mr. Bice is asking the court again to take into consideration his addiction he's been trying to address. He wants to get, moving along with his life if he can. He wants to serve, he's already served significant time on this. He wants to serve a period of probation and show the court that he can do what the court wants him to do. That he can make good on the restitution. He understands that there's going to be a restitution amount. Quite frankly, that obviously that's going to be determined ultimately at a later time. We understand that monetary value, if not the biggest loss in this whole situation. Again, one of his co-defendants in another case, Ms. Foster, had lost her life, and I understand none of these were ever attributable to Mr. Bice. The reality is that it's attributable to the addiction. So again, we're asking the court to take into consideration the situation. We understand how horrible these cases ultimately resulted for everybody involved. But we're asking the court to take into consideration that Mr. Bice does have a son. He's trying to get his life good, to be there for him, and he wants to be there for his mother towards the end of her life as well. So that's the court to consider the time he's been incarcerated, to suspend any further incarceration, allow him to be supervised on probation, and to allow him to get out there and earn the money he needs to make good on what restitution he can or he is ordered to do, and to try to get his life better for his son and for the rest of the community to see that it may have been a bad past, that he understands. He wants everyone else to understand you can change and move forward, you can do better. And that's what he wants to show as an example to his son and everyone else, that he will do better, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bice, anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Just that I'm sorry for any hurt or anything that I've caused anyone throughout my choices. I'm truly sorry. That's all I can say.
Mr. Stevenson, I do have that the 51 days was calculated for a June 8th sentencing. So is the total now 73 because we add another 22?
Correct, I have 73 tabulated.
All right, thank you. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing. Criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for law, and the sense of protection of society. In this case, the guidelines were a straddle cell, which of 0 to 17 months, which allows for a county jail term. It is a sentence of the court that you will be placed on probation for a period of 3 years. You will serve 1 year in the Lenawee County Jail. I'll give you credit for 73 days already served. You'll pay $750 in court costs, $450 in attorney fees. There is a crime victim rights fee in the amount of $130 on each file. I will assess the court costs and attorney fees on file number 22-20979FH. You will pay $136 in state costs, and that is a total of $68 on each file. There is a $60 DNA fee. Restitution will be determined, and that matter is set for hearing on August 9th at 2:30 p.m. via Zoom. Is that via Zoom, Mr. Murphy and Ms. Wagner, or do you want it to be in person?
I'm fine with it over Zoom, Your Honor.
Yeah, Zoom is fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Bice, during your probation, you are to obey and comply with all the articles of your probation. There's also a $30 per month supervision fee without electronic monitor, 60 with an electronic monitor, and the year in jail was on file number 22-21175FH only. And you will receive credit for time served on file number 22-20979FH. Or do you want me to reverse that, Mr. Stevenson?
I'm sorry.
Do you want him to serve the 1 year in jail on file number 22-20979? And
No,
then just credit for time?
The 7-5 case only for the jail will work.
Okay, so we'll do 1 year in jail on the 7-5 file. Now, Mr. Bice, you do have the right to appeal this sentence, and we're going to send over to the jail 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review for each file. You're going to initial and date the top copy for our records just to acknowledge that you received the paperwork. The other paperwork is for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. All right, Mr. Bice, thank you. Ms. Campbell, thank you. And the other young lady already disconnected. All right, thank you. Okay, so. All right, from the jail, I am ready for, are you down on the first floor or third floor?
You're on the basement floor, first floor, Your Honor.
All right, so I could see, let's see, who was that one? Gabriel Lee. I can see him again.
I'm sorry, Gabriel, who, Your Honor?
Gabriel Lee, he was a pickup for child support.
Yes, ma'am.
Hopefully that will not happen this time. Of course, that was after. Hey, perfect.
All right, I have Mr. Seeley. Can you hear me? Are you James Seeley from the Michigan Department of Corrections?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning. So let me find your file. Okay, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Robert Seeley. Hold on one second. Mr. Lee, you would ask for court-appointed counsel, and Miss Underwood is here. So I am going to open up a breakout room for you and Miss Underwood. Miss Underwood, you have the paper, right?
I do.
All right. I'm gonna open up that breakout room, and I'm gonna put this jail window in the waiting room because, see. Right, I'm gonna, all right, Mr. Seeley, I'm gonna pop in the waiting room, stay here. Pop in the waiting room for 1 second, and I'll be right back with you. Mr. Malaro, hold on, I'm gonna join audio. Courtroom.